I'm Jason, and this is the American Dream Car Show. Hi, I'm Jason.
Your hat's not black. What is this?
What happened? Oh, okay, that's better.
All right.
I've never seen you with something on your head.
I like your shirt, Soundwave. Hey, we're back with cars. You're very blue today.
My underwear are black. Don't put that in there.
No, I'm not going to. David might. It was great. That has nothing to do with the show.
Make it a car show. Saw the light.
Yeah, but if you get wait a second after it starts recording, don't start talking the second.
Yes, to warm itself up.
Talk about cars. Do you want to get started?
Yeah, please. It seems to be a habit of ours, Jake, that we head a general direction when we're out on the road.
South. Always south. You only go south.
I like going south. I like Florida at the beach. But
fair
this
enough.
time, I made plans for us to embark and head west, much like the Oregon Trail.
You have died of dysentery.
We didn't do that, but we did cross some rivers on the way to St. Louis, Missouri. Part of exploring is getting out and seeing the world. We headed west, found our way to St. Louis, and we're here at the St. Louis Car Museum and Sales. Let's get inside. All right, so the first thing I'm noticing inside is that there is a ton of vehicles here. They've got 80,000 plus square feet of facilities, which means they've got plenty of room for all this crazy stuff. We're talking everything from 1902 up to the modern era. They've got vehicles starting in the teens all the way up to the millions in value. If you're looking to add to your collection, start a museum, or just find that special item, you can find it here. Speaking of special items, John told us about a few we have to find. I think there's one right over here. The Stanley steamer we know today is all about keeping your home clean. The Stanley steamer of yesteryear, that's 1902 in fact, was about getting you from point A to point B. Right here we have what is believed to be one of the oldest Stanley steamer vehicles in existence. Now it is an actual vehicle, not a horse-drawn carriage, though it does resemble that. It's had a nice restoration, got the cool wicker baskets. Now, speaking of horses, got something drawn by a horse right over here. It's a Creeders popcorn wagon from 1916. An aspiring businessman could buy one of these for $1,200, set it up at a carnival, a fair, on a busy street corner, sell popcorn, peanuts, and be on the move anytime they wanted to. It's been restored to its original beauty, and the cool thing about it is Creeders is still in business today. From Sunbeam Tigers to Ferraris, Aston Martins, Jaguars, there quite literally is a car for everybody here. And I've got one down at the end I really want to show you. It's one of only 23 originals. It's a 1935 Mercedes-Benz 500K Roadster. This car is stunning. If you're looking to purchase any of these cars, come see them at St. Louis Car Museum and Sales. The Gateway to the West held all kinds of fun stuff to see, huh?
Oh yeah, no, there were amazing vehicles there. Like, and it was really cool that you could buy them too.
Yeah, which has actually got us thinking, you know, what happens when you need to fix one of those vehicles, right?
Yeah, I would imagine that you can't just like go in any place to get parts for a classic vehicle like that. Like, where would you go? What would you do?
Well, if you're into GM classics, you see the Nova guy. In the car world, everybody has a guy, like the guy that can get you anything you're looking for. In the world of Novas, that guy is Junior, and he's invited us in to say hi. Junior?
Hey, how are you all?
Hey man, it's so great to meet you.
Good, same here, Jason.
All right, so I've done some research on you and what you do. In the world of GM, in the world of Novas, you're that guy, right?
I've been told that many
All
times.
right, well tell us about your business.
Well, back in the early 80s, I was looking for parts for my Nova and I couldn't find them. So I started buying parts that maybe I didn't need, and then I would just sell those, and it would basically just finance the parts when I did find them, and it financed me restoring my first car. And we got into manufacturing, got into retail, and we started life as a company called Chevy 2 Only, which a lot of customers know us by that. And then we migrated over to GM Classics.
Which is what you are today.
That's correct.
And so now you obviously specialize in Nova, but you can help out with other lines as well.
Yeah, but our heart's with the Nova.
Well, and I can kind of tell that. I'm looking at this is your personal collection, right?
Yes.
And you've got some really amazing, I mean, these are museum quality cars that you get to, you know, be around every day, and that must be a lot of fun.
Right.
But I've got to be honest with you, I'm drawn to the one that's kind of the oddball. Sure, it's on wheels still, and it's got a steering wheel.
Right.
But this is not a normal car.
Yeah. This is a driver education booth from back in the 60s, and what the draw was for us was the fact that it was built out of Nova parts. It has a Nova steering wheel in it.
Okay.
It has a Nova dash cluster. It's dated somewhere around in the 60s, the best we can tell. Probably around 65 or 66 is where we're figuring.
This is really cool.
Yeah, there was normally 20 of these in a room.
Oh, okay, so it'd be just like an actual classroom.
Yeah, there
all
would
the
be
kids are lined
20
up.
of these. Yeah, 20 of these, 20 kids. Let's go with that. And then it would have a reel-to-reel movie. If the lady in the film driving the car turned her turn signal on, then the student had to turn the turn signal on.
That's pretty innovative. And so you would have a group of kids that got to learn to drive before they actually got behind the steering wheel.
That's correct.
Because when I was in high school, I actually did take some driver education, but they put me straight into a car. And that's a little nervous when you're a young kid. And so maybe this is that transitional phase, and pretty cool that they use Nova parts, which is exactly what your whole business has been modeled on, and that's why we have some of these amazing cars here. Let's get to the good stuff. You got some unique items here, I understand, right?
Yeah, we have a few. We have this yellow convertible here that is basically one of none.
Wait. One of none?
Yeah, in 65 they didn't make a Nova convertible, so we took a 62 and transformed it into a 65.
Wow, so what kind of project is that? I mean, because obviously not everybody can do this.
The physical body style is mainly the same,
Okay.
from 62 to 65, so that was not an issue at all. We had to do a specialty interior with it. We had to change all the trim on the car.
Frame-wise, though, and like the base of the car is still the same, though. I
Yeah,
guess, right?
all the same body style, fenders and doors and everything.
This is a beautiful car. So
Thank
this,
you.
what year do you call it? If it's not one of either.
We call it a 65 SS convertible.
Okay. Well, you know, the cars have such fun stories, and like this is one that you can actually now share with people and be like, you know, it was a project, it was an idea, it was something that you got to do, and now it sits here, and it could be in any show, any museum, and win awards because of it being such a cool story. This one, though, 100% original?
Yes, that's a 66 327 350 horse. They made just over 5,000 or so of them.
Okay.
We actually had the original owner of this car come and visit it from Cleveland.
That's
he was here
cool.
about a year ago.
Can you imagine what it'd be like to be able to flash back and go, oh my gosh, there's that car again, and he got the chance to do that.
Oh, exactly.
And you afford that opportunity for so many people by providing the different pieces to bring these machines back together. So when was the first Nova built?
1962
Okay, and they made them for about how long? Was it 20 years?
up to 1979.
Okay, so for across those, you know, basically 17, 18 years, you've got every little piece to make all those vehicles again?
Pretty much, yeah. That's what we do. We're into restoration.
Now, Joe, obviously you've got Novas all over the world, as you've stated. All these folks that are looking for parts and all different types of parts. How do you know when you package something up and send it out that it's going to work for you?
We try to test everything we manufacture and everything we sell, because if you get the part and it doesn't work, then you're not going to be happy.
So how do you go about testing these parts?
We have cars like this one here we've been using for years, since the early 80s, to test parts on.
So basically you're saying, for example, if I want a new suspension, you know, you're going to develop that, put it together, make sure it works, and then actually put it on the car and test it yourself.
Generally, yes. Uh-huh.
Well, I mean, that's really saying something, because you're able to not only convince somebody that, you know, you've got a good product, but you prove it and you can stand behind it.
We use it, that's correct.
This has got me excited to see what you actually built the business on, though, those parts. Can we go take a look at the operation?
Sure, let's go.
All right, so this is where all the good stuff happens, right, Joe?
Now, this is basically shipping and receiving. There's nothing special.
Okay.
The nice stuff's over here, I
Well,
guess.
yeah, I can already see some racks of all those parts we've been talking about. My goodness. Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, a car, a Nova, has thousands of parts that go into making it, right?
That's correct, yeah. This is our main inventory here, where everything's part numbered. We have some of our parts here that we manufacture.
Oh, so this is the stuff that you were saying that you actually have processed completely from start to finish. So
Correct.
you know that that customer's getting a really high quality product.
That's correct.
And so you can give me anything I need. When I say I'm calling up and I've got a 62 and I want to get it back to original, you know, stock, you can help me do that, right?
So, we help out with your restoration from beginning to end, whether you want a new reproduction part, a new old stock part, or a used part.
Tell us about this new old stock. That sounds interesting. All right, so this is that new old stock we were talking about. And you can see that this is the logos, the real boxes, the original boxes.
Yes, from where GM actually produced the parts.
Well, how old would you say some of this stuff is?
Back to 62 when Nova started.
That's true. That's true. So you're looking at something that's a brand new piece that was
Yep.
created when the
Yep.
vehicle was created.
That's correct. Never been on a car.
So you can give somebody, if they're looking for like a honest to goodness reproduction, you know, like back to original, they can get the parts that would have been there when it was originally made.
That's correct. Yep.
All right, so start to finish now, one less place to go, right? So this is it, the fabled indoor junkyard.
Yep. This is it.
And this is like no other junkyard I've ever seen. I mean, first of all, it's inside, but generally junkyards are in disarray, there's chaos, there's stuff everywhere. There's stuff everywhere, but it's not in chaos.
Well, the way we looked at it years ago, Jason, is when we parted out a car, if the physical part of the car was no good anymore, there was no reason to keep it.
Okay.
So we would bring the parts indoors to keep them out of the weather and to preserve them.
How many cars? How many cars are we talking about?
Probably around over 300.
Are you kidding? 300 cars. So there's parts in
Yeah,
history.
not just cars, Novas.
Oh, Novas. There's over 300 Novas
Yeah.
in this building. All right, so let's just say, for example, and I bet you know where it all is. What about steering wheel? I need a Nova steering wheel.
Steering wheel, we have some over here, we have some up there.
So we've got Nova steering wheels, we've got steering columns, we've got glass I've seen over here, you've got just about, well, you literally do have everything. So if you're looking something Nova related, they've got to come see you, right?
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right, I'm kind of excited right here. It says Nova emblem. Can I open this up?
Sure.
And I guess this would be kind of like the crown jewel, we finished, right?
Yep.
You get your Nova emblem, your original Nova emblem from the Nova man. Junior, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now that was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah,
Seeing 300 Novas parted out in a barn.
that was awesome.
That's how he built his business, man. It's cool. All right, so Jake, you like movies.
More than a little bit, yeah.
You also like the movie cars that are associated with them.
I love them.
I know you do. And you liked going west.
Yeah, it's way better than south.
You want to go a little further?
Well, yeah. Where are you thinking?
I'm thinking Vegas. Las Vegas, a city primarily known for its nightlife. Over on the Strip, all the great casinos and shows. But what do you do during the daytime? Well, there's a great big city to explore. And we're here to do just that right now at the Hollywood Cars Museum. All right, looks like we found the man right here. How's it going, man? I'm Jason.
Hey Jason, I'm Steve Levesque. They call me the mayor of Hollywood Cars Museum here in Las Vegas.
Super nice to meet you. So obviously, if you're the mayor, you're the guy we need to talk to about going on a tour and checking out this amazing facility.
Yeah, I think you'll be surprised. We have over 100 cars from film and TV.
That is pretty neat. All right, now so we have in our museum a vehicle from the Fast and the Furious movie. What do you have here to show us? What's neat?
We do happen to have 2 Fast and Furious cars from the first movie.
Ooh, are they original?
They're stunt cars, so they're crashed, they're burnt, they're shot up. But people love them because it's from the first movie and they're instantly recognizable.
Sounds like something we should go see. Let's check it out. Oh man, Steve, I'm already seeing some cool, iconic stuff just off in the distance. Is this what we were talking about with the Fast and the Furious?
Yeah, absolutely. These are the stunt cars, as you can tell.
Looks like they've been through the ringer a little.
They're worse for wear, but they're the real deal.
Well, and that's what makes it really neat. For me, it's one thing to say, yeah, we got these cool cars. It's another one to say we have the car. And then to be able to kind of prove it and be like, I can remember this guy getting shot up, you know, or caught on fire, or wrecked. I mean, that's neat because Hollywood puts these guys through the grinder, don't they?
They're ridden hard and put away wet, so to speak.
And well, in the term museum quality, it doesn't necessarily fit the mold unless you're looking for this kind of vehicle.
I mean, nobody would restore a car or reproduce it this way. That's the thing about movie cars. They're not treated like trailer queens. They get used, and they use several cars for each scene because some of them get destroyed, and you have other cars that are for the beauty shots.
Right.
And you have some for racing, and then you have some for crashes.
Well, there might have been 8 or 10 of these cars, right?
Absolutely.
Well, and then so they've got a different direction with this. It started as a really emotional-driven storyboard, then they kind of went off the radar, didn't they?
Yep, that's for sure.
These guys are like automotive superheroes. Speaking of superheroes, I'm seeing Batmobiles, seeing some other cool stuff. What about any other movie superheroes we might want to focus on?
Well, obviously in our big room we have a couple of Batmobiles.
Cool.
We have a George Barris licensed 1966 Adam West Batmobile, and then we have a Michael Keaton, kind of more the futuristic with the big wings and everything from Batman Returns.
Cool, let's go check those out. That certainly looks familiar, Steve. I love Batman. Grew up just like a lot of folks did watching him.
Yeah, that was my favorite TV show when I was a kid, 1966. Really campy, really cool.
Well, but that's what made it fun. I mean, they were not apologetic for doing what they did. They enjoyed the show. They had fun making the show. Those characters were just unbelievable. And Batman obviously made it through the decades and generations now, just like, looks like over here. Is this Batman Returns?
That's Batman of the 90s. That's Michael Keaton Batman.
Which a lot of people say is their favorite Batman, and everybody has their own favorite.
It's a wicked looking car.
This is intimidating, and that's what Batman, that's what, his claim to fame was, the fact that he was like, hey, these villains out there, I've got to instill fear.
There was 18 of these used in the movie. This was one of the drivers. It's a little difficult to drive and get in and out of with that canopy.
Yeah, that's not your everyday pop in and out, and I'm sure like the maneuverability of a car that's this long, because it's a lot longer than an average vehicle.
It's hard to steer it, but people see you coming.
And the bad guys would have.
Absolutely.
Speaking of seeing you coming, that's a gigantic wing on top of a relatively small car.
Yeah. I mean, this Batmobile has big wings, but this has really big wings.
What is this from?
This is from a James Bond movie, Man with the Golden Gun. You like James Bond?
Oh, I love James Bond.
We got something from James Bond that'll really blow your mind.
I'm ready to see it. Check this car out. Batman had his gadgets and tricks. So did James Bond.
Yeah. This is one of 3 Lotus submarine cars.
Now this is from The Spy Who Loved Me?
Absolutely.
Roger Moore, James Bond. His car was decked out with machine guns, rocket launchers, and look, back here, Jake, if you check it out, actual propellers. This car went underwater, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so Steve, how did they get a car like this to appear like it was moving through the water? Because I mean, they certainly did, right?
This car was used for 2 different scenes. As you can see on one side, it was used for the flip-up wheels.
Okay, so the tires would go from here to here.
And they would flip up, and then on the other side, you can see that it's fins.
And that's on this side right over here.
So they would drag this underneath the water and shoot it from different sides.
Just pull it with a boat, I guess?
Yeah, for the different scenes.
This is a cool car. Not a lot of these, I'm going to assume, in the world, right?
No, there was 3 of these used in the movie. It was filmed in the Bahamas. Somebody tipped us off that one of the 3 original cars was in the junkyard.
Okay.
Bought it. Well, we got it for free. Shipped it to Vegas. Had it restored by Rick's Restoration, the TV show American Restoration. Somebody actually offered us $750,000 for it. Turned it down because Elon Musk bought one of the other cars, the guy from Tesla, for $900,000, and he's actually turning it into a working submarine car.
That is unbelievable. An actual working submarine car. Awesome. And I noticed a couple other Bond vehicles here, Skyfall and another Roger Moore, if I'm not mistaken. What is all the glitter and chandeliers about in the back?
You got to put your sunglasses on because you're going to get blinged out.
Okay, I'd love to see that bling. You're talking about a Las Vegas icon, right?
Liberace, yeah, he was the biggest in the world. He was the highest paid entertainer in the world at that time from Las Vegas.
Let's go check that room out.
Was I right about this place?
You certainly weren't kidding. It's like a giant mirror ball in here.
This is our Liberace Garage exhibit. His cars that unfortunately they were in storage, we gave them a home.
Okay.
So now they're on display. It raises money for musical education.
I love it. This is
And,
cool.
Liberace at the time was the biggest entertainer in the world, highest paid.
No kidding, really.
And most of these cars he used on stage.
These cars were as much of like a part of the act as he was. Backup singers or dancers might have been, right?
Yeah, he loved cars. He was a car nut. And these were essentially props. And they were used on stage for the most part.
What's the story on this? This is Rolls Royce, right?
This has got to be the crown jewel
Okay.
of the collection. This is a really rare Rolls Royce anyway. It's like a Phantom Princess limousine.
Okay.
You had the space up there for the chauffeur. Valuable in its own right, but now it's gotten the Liberace touch, so it makes it even more valuable. Well over $1 million. You can even see this in a movie, the Behind the Candelabra movie.
Okay, yeah.
The story of his life.
That's Michael Douglas, Matt Damon.
Michael Douglas did an amazing job portraying Liberace. They actually used his car in the movie, so you can check that out.
These cars obviously all probably have this unique story. One kind of is different from the other, stands out just a little bit.
That one is not as glitzy, but that is one of his real cars that he used.
Okay.
It's an English cab. And Liberace was so warm, down to earth, friendly. He would actually, when friends would fly into town, he would actually put on a little chauffeur's cap, get in his car, go to the airport and pick them up. Grab their luggage, put it in the back of the car, and drive them in.
Can you imagine? I mean, how cool would that be? I mean, of course he's your buddy, but I mean, he's a big deal.
Well,
He's a big star, and here he comes.
Not just for his friends, think of the other people at the airport seeing this.
Right.
Oh, that can't be Liberace.
Right, but he was an everyday guy that wanted to do
Yeah,
right, and,
yeah.
and from what I understand, still giving back to this day,
Yeah,
right?
all of his possessions, all of the cars, they can't be sold. They're all used to raise money for the Liberace Foundation for musical education.
That's neat.
These cars will always be together, they'll always be on display, and they're here in Las Vegas where they belong.
Liberace, iconic Vegas, has got me kind of itching for a little more Las Vegas.
Well, Vegas is still here. You get out there and enjoy it.
All right, man, thanks for having
All
us
right,
today. Appreciate
have
it. buddy.
fun.
Now that place had a lot to see.
Dude, it was awesome.
Some really cool stuff. If you like Vegas, stay tuned, because guess what we got coming up, Jake?
Season finale.
Season finale, it's on the way. But first, we head to the mountains.
The next episode? I love the Rockies.
And then you're gonna love the Smokies.
We're going south again.
See you there.